Welcome back, guys, to another DIY. We're going to be changing the brake pads, and we're also going to be doing the rear brake pads. So let me start by taking out the two bolts here. You're going to need I believe it's a 12mm socket, Allen wrench for the two screws that hold down the pins. So we're going to start by removing the screws here that hold the caliper. So we got both of the pins out. So before we do that, let's just take a look how it looks on the inside. Just try to be extra careful when removing the caliper. You don't want to scratch up your rim. There we go. So before I even put the new ones in, we're going to clean the pistons in there with some brake cleaner. Get it all nice and clean. And it gets a little bit dirty, so you want to wear gloves. You don't want none of that rust or residue of the brakes getting in your hand. And it's pretty dangerous, so if you want to wear a mask, you can also wear a mask as well. So we're gonna put this down for a bit, so don't be afraid of just leaving it there. Brake lines could almost carry the weight of the caliper. The caliper is not that heavy. So before we take out the brake pads, we're gonna obviously remove the two pins here, and it has a little shield back here which hold the brake pads in place, so we're going to be taking that off too. So we have our brake pads here, EBC brake pads, double H centered brakes. So these are the ones that I'm going to be putting in there, and then obviously you're going to get the same size for the other side of the caliper of the brake, and then these are for the rear EBC brakes. So now here comes the brakes, the brake pads. So these seem like the OME brake pads, because if you guys can see, there's 4 pistons on there pushing down the brake pads as you wear them out. So they're not that worn. But like I was saying, before we put the new brake pads, we're going to spray it, clean it up with some brake cleaner before we put on the new brake pads. So you don't want to be breathing this in. This is really harmful for you guys. So you guys can wear a little face mask just to use for protection, and you want to do it outside. You don't want to be doing this in the garage or something. So just always try to take precaution before doing stuff. So maybe this is another reason why the brakes were kind of squeaky, because they're pretty dirty here. So now what you want to do to push back the pistons, you could do it with your hand, but that seems like you push down on one side and the other side comes back out. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our old brake pads on there, and we're gonna use a screwdriver to push back the pistons. So that's why it's another good way of cleaning them first, because after you push them back down, they're not gonna kind of come back out. So it's a good way to clean them first. You can see that the pistons are back in. I don't need to push them all the way back in because the new brake pads are not that, they're not that thick. But if you have really worn brake pads to the point that the pistons are kind of like sticking out for the most part, see, so now it's gonna have some free space, because what you want to do after you put it back in place with the new brake pads, you want to be able to fit it in here with the rotor, and you want to obviously want the 2 brake pads to go on each side, and you want the rotor to go in between, obviously. So this side's not that hard to push back because they're not that worn out, but if your brake pads are really worn out, you're gonna have the pistons sticking out a lot more, so you're gonna have a little bit more trouble pushing them back in. So I think that's pretty much good right there. All right, we got the pins cleaned, so we're pretty much ready to go. Clean up the little bracket here and spray it down, scrub it. So that's pretty much it here. So I mean, if you guys need help to remember kind of like where things go, you could always use your owner's manual, so you guys won't feel like you guys are confused by any way, or just take pictures on your phone. Alright, so we got the spacer there. So now we're gonna lube up the brake pads, put them back in there, lube up the pin. So we're gonna be greasing up the back part here. Also this one, just a decent amount. So I got the Max Racing waterproof grease right here. I'm gonna be using this. Alright, so you want to change gloves. You don't want to get the calipers or the pistons all greased up. You just want the grease in a certain area, so you might want to change gloves. I'm gonna put back the brake pads now. You gotta make sure you put the brake pad, this part facing down towards the pistons. You don't want to put it the opposite way, because what's the purpose of putting new brakes if this is what you need to stop? So just don't rush it. Make sure you guys know what you guys are doing. Don't get intimidated thinking you guys can't do it. Just, you know, take your time. So obviously you're gonna slide this one in. Doesn't matter which one you put first, they're both the same ones. So we're gonna go with this one here. So what you want to do is slide it in there in the groove, so you're good there. And then same thing, get the other one, put it on the other side there. So now you grab your 2 pins, grab your 2 pins there, and you start putting them. Now we're just gonna do a hand tight. So now we push them back out. You can use a screwdriver, gently push them back out. And then just kind of put it in place. And there you go. before you press down on the brake lever so it can start grabbing the brakes, we're going to bring the torque wrench and torque it back down to spec. So for the bolts, you want to tie it. The front brake caliper mounting bolt is going to be 39 Newton meters or 28 pounds per foot. So we're going to do that first. We have this, it almost looks like an old-fashioned wrench, but whatever works. So once you crank it down, the meter goes up. We're moving the camera too much. So right there, you're at 25 Newton meters, and you want it to get it to 29. So you want it at 29. This seems about right there. That's one, and then you want the bottom one 29 as well. Right about there. So now we got to get the two bolts. So for the front brake pad mounting pins, you're at 15 Newton meters or 11 pounds per foot. So we're going to do that. Sounding pretty good. All right. So we're gonna come back with the actual torque specification there. This is gonna be the same thing. If you guys just want to skip this part and wait until I do the rear brakes, you guys could are more than welcome to forward this other side here. It's the same thing pretty much. So you guys want to fast forward to this and get to the rear brake. Carefully take out the caliper. Same thing here. Seems like these are more worn than the other side for some reason. So we're going to take out the two pins. So I got the pins out. Same process. We're going to clean up the caliper, the brake cleaner. After that, we're going to brush it, clean it up. We're going to push back the pistons with the old brake pads. You could just leave it hanging, that's not going to damage it. Alright, so we're going to remove old brake pads. Alright, so same process here. We're going to spray. We're going to spray the caliper, brake cleaner. So the brake dust is really toxic, so you want to wear a mask. It's really harmful for you guys. can see, the pistons are pushed back. We're gonna remove the little bracket back there so we can clean it up. We got it out. Alright, so we got our bracket clean. We're gonna throw it back in there. Alright, we got it back in there. Same thing, we're gonna grab your brake pad, grease it up. We got the spacer in there, or wherever you guys want to call it. We got the pistons back down. Remember to use some grease to lube them up. Slide them in there. And also, after you lube them up, you want to change gloves again. You don't want it everywhere, to get the grease everywhere. So after you get them, you have them in there. You kind of want to push back on the brake pads for a little bit so they can line up with the pin there, and just put the pin straight in. So that's pretty much it. We're going to tighten them up, put them back in place. So gently kind of push back on the brake pad so you can have some space. Want to push back with the screwdriver so you can get some space in there. And gently get them into place. That's pretty much it. We're gonna get our torque wrench. So for the front ones, the front brake caliper mounting bolt, it's 39 Newton meters or 28 pounds per foot, and the front brake pad mounting pin is 15 Newton meters or 11 pounds per foot. So we're doing the brake caliper mounting bolts first. You want to be at 28. So that's pretty much it. We still got to tighten up these up to spec. I don't have the proper tool for that, but I will get that tool. Just the Allen wrench socket. I don't have any, just have hand tools. So that's pretty much it for the front brake pad. So now you're safe to pull down on the lever. So we're gonna come back around this way, and we're gonna push back on the lever. So you can see it doesn't grab yet, so you want to keep on pressing it until it grabs. So now you have a firm, I can feel it, they got firm, so now you're good to go. So that's how you guys do your brake pads on a Gixxer 600. We're going to be doing the rear brake, exchanging the brake pads. You got one bolt here. What I've seen, a lot of people, they just take out this bolt, pull up the caliper, remove the pin, clean up the pin, and then lube up or grease up the new brake pad, and you're good to go. You don't have to take out the whole caliper out. Alright, so we got the 10mm socket. So now you have free space to pull it up. So let me put the camera back down. So the thing that was holding me back from lifting up the caliper was obviously the pin here. So now you have some free space to pull out the old brake pads. So you got one. It's only one huge piston that's pushing them back. So we're gonna get our new brake pads. So we got one. I did squeeze back the piston just so we can have enough space to get them both in there. So this is the other one. So what you want to do is line up the brake pads, so where you're going to put the pin back on there. I don't know if that's picking up, and then you're good to go. So you grab your pin. After you clean it up, you lube it or grease it up. You throw it on. Make sure it goes in between. Make sure it goes in between the brake pad, so you won't have a major accident or having it wiggling around. So after that, you're good to go there. Rear brake pad mounting pin, you're looking at 12.5 pounds to the foot, and the rear brake pad mounting pin plugs about 28 pounds to the foot. Pretty much it right there. And then we just need the pins. One thing, don't forget to pump the brakes down. That's pretty much it, so you won't be having a major accident. So that's gonna be it for the video. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Let me also know if you guys want to see any other DIYs or you have any questions. Put them in the comment section below. Catch you guys in the next one. Ride safe. Peace.
For a rapper shot dead just yesterday.
No one can tell you who to be. So in purpose, you have to create your own purpose. And in evolution, you have to evolve towards that purpose. It's easier to live when you have goals to meet. You understand?